What's up guys, how you been? Today we are doing back-to-back reviews. I've been filming for about 2 hours now and I'm going to continue filming for about 3 more. So today is going to be a very long day in terms of filming. Today we're going to talk about Hawas by Rasasi. This is a darling online. Everybody has heard about this. If you haven't, then welcome to the party. So this is a very popular fragrance online. We're going to talk about this a little bit and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. So Hawas by Rasasi is very popular. It's very known. I thought I had the original, but I don't. So Hawas by Rasasi is supposed to be inspired by Invictus by Rabanne, and it was released in 2015 and it's still very popular to this day. So that kind of tells you how good this is supposed to be when it's still popular 10 years later. Jesus, that's a really long time. Let's first talk about the bottle, because the bottle is the first thing we see and some people are sold by this bottle. So let's look at that bottle. The bottle is a very simple glass bottle with purplish blue. I think it's purplish blue. Yeah, purplish blue liquid and a gunmetal-ish top with a snake coiled around it. The top is metal. It's a very simple bottle. It's nothing to write home about, but it does its job. It looks nice on a shelf. It does what it's supposed to do, which is attract your attention, especially that top, that beautiful little snake top. It's a snake top that has no head, by the way. The snake kind of like fades away. There's no head for the snake, but it's a nice little bottle. It does its job, which is get your attention. Now, let's do the sniff test, which is the most important part. So let's spray. This scent, when I first smell it, when I first get a sniff of it after I spray it, gives me instant flashbacks to when I was maybe 2015, maybe 2005 even. Back when I was in college and all the good-looking dudes basically wore a scent like this. This smells very fresh. This smells very summery. This smells very college kid kind of thing. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It just means like young, attractive guy. This gives me immediate young, attractive guy vibes. This gives me like a vibe of a guy who is too hot for me, honestly. It has woodiness and citrus and tiny bit of spice. It's very fresh. It's very bright. It's very alluring. It's very masculine. Honestly, I really like it. It's not necessarily something I would wear all the time, but I really like the scent of this. The opening is very reminiscent of expensive scents back in the day, and I like it a lot. It's a very nice little scent. Let's talk about the description. Let's talk about what it says online on the website, on Rasasi's website, on how they sell this scent. Hawas for him blends cinnamon, bergamot, orange blossom, gray amber, and sandalwood to create an aquatic scent designed to embody masculine strength and vigor. This fresh, elegant, woody perfume combines the premium Italian citrus and the fruity freshness of pear and pineapple. The heart of this modern fougere is based on aquatic elements combined with melon and violet. It is a mix of sandalwood, cedarwood, musk, with generous ambergris. The fragrance is inflected with fresh, marine aromatic notes that melt into the amberwoods. The fragrance captures the adventurous, exploratory, and evocative spirit of the modern man. The contemporary notes of this chic fragrance come with an attitude to match. The clear gray bottle has a python wrapped around the stopper, while the textured python on the back captures the sensuality of the species with a flamboyance redolent of haute couture. I love it. I really love it when the marketing kind of like paints a weird, extravagant picture, especially when it's a very cheap fragrance. I really like that. I don't know why, it tickles me. I really like that a lot. Apparently the description says that this is supposed to be a freshie. It has some fruit in it, some woody in it, and some other aquatic stuff in it to make it a freshie. And I agree with everything in the description, maybe not to the extent that they're saying it, but yeah, it's all there. They're not lying when it comes to that. I think it's good. So let's look at the notes and talk about it. The top notes for this are apple, bergamot, lemon, and cinnamon. The middle notes for this are watery notes, plum, orange blossom, and cardamom. And then the base notes are ambergris, musk, patchouli, and driftwood. All that to say that this is definitely expressing a lot of those notes. This says, well, the notes don't really match what the description says. The description says they're supposed to have pear and pineapple, but the notes on Fragrantica say something different. Let me check that out. Give me a second. That's interesting. The notes on Fragrantica say something completely different than the information that Rasasi says. So those are the notes that it says on Rasasi, but then the description says that it has pineapple. It has pear and pineapple, aquatic elements, lemon, melon, and violet. The description has a lot of other notes in it that are not really in their notes. So that's interesting. That's another reason why I like reading the description, because the description kind of tells you other marketing stuff that they're putting in there that they're expecting you to smell in here. And honestly, I don't really get apple that much. I don't really get pineapple that much. I don't really get plum that much. I don't really get a lot of those fruity scents. I think the only maybe melon, teeny tiny bit, but like fruity, like not fruity, the candy lemon. Candy melon, but mostly freshy, like citrusy stuff that I'm getting on top. Yeah, I think that's mostly what I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of citrusy, I'm getting a lot of watery notes, I'm getting a lot of woods, and a little bit of spice. And that's what I'm getting from this. But it's interesting how the description is kind of differs from the notes. The notes and the description are very different in terms of what they're expecting from this scent. On Fragrantica, this has a 4.36 out of 5 with 6,989 votes. So extremely popular and extremely well rated. So this is definitely something that people love, with good reason. The positive critiques for this are pretty simple. Superior longevity compared to the original. It's refined and mature compared to the original. And it's incredibly impressive for the value, right? Because this is incredibly cheap and it provides very good performance, very good scent, and very good longevity for that price. So those are all positive critiques. I'm going to read you some of the positive reviews for this, just so you can get a context of what people have been saying. The first one is Jabin For Real. Jabin For Real says, "Used this in public for the first time today. I was eating breakfast at a local restaurant. The waitress was at the next table over for me refilling coffee, and I overheard her compliment the guy at that table on how good they smelled. I quietly snickered. She left the table and stopped at mine to refill my coffee as well. She stopped and say, 'Oh, it's you that smells so good.' That's all you need to know about this fragrance." FFEXP Chris says, "Say what you want, this fragrance does a great job. Projects well, has great longevity, mass appealing, not enough great things to say. Every time I wear Hawas, someone asks what the fragrance is, where can I get it, and so on. I bought this fragrance due to the hype the frag community was giving this fragrance. I put it on, smelled nothing out of the ordinary, but while out in public, many compliments were received regarding the fragrance." In terms of negative critiques, people have said that it can be a little overwhelming if you apply it in hot weather, it's less youthful than the original, and the initial blast can be a little bit synthetic smelling, which again, I think it's code for cheap. And let's look at negative reviews for this. Oof Hunter in Fragrantica says, "This fragrance is overhyped. Very synthetic with little aquatic freshness. To my nose, I get the Middle Eastern vibe and is also too strong if used indoors. Don't just watch YouTube reviewers and blind buy this. You might regret. Get a sample first before you waste your money." Jamal 8800 says, "This has to be the most overrated perfume I have ever smelt. Smells like cheap DEO you could buy from a dollar store. It is so sickly sweet and smells insanely synthetic. Effing horrible." Ziggy16 from Reddit says, that was 7 years ago by the way, says, "I have Invictus Hawas, Allure Sport, and Sauvage. I would say it smells like a fruity, playful Invictus. Zero hint of Sauvage and doesn't have the sporty feeling of Allure Sport. I think of Hawas as what the fresh out of school, brand new stockbroker who's still immature but is working his way up the ladder quickly smells like. He's going to get that big account, it's just a matter of time. Invictus is that same guy, but 10 years later. So it's kind of a mature scent according to this person. Overall, most people love it. Some people don't like it. Some people think it's overhyped. My opinion on the scent, is, like I said, it just gives me hot guy. It just gives me hot guy vibes. That's honestly it. It smells like an incredibly hot guy would wear this. It exudes masculinity. It oozes hot guy vibes. Big D energy, I guess you could say. So it kind of feels that way. It appeals to that manliness crowd. I wouldn't say alpha male because that's douchey, but I would say it exudes that manly energy. I think what stands out to me in this is the woody notes, the aquatic notes. Those woody, aquatic, and citrusy notes together create a very pleasing vibe, a very pleasing medley of notes to your nose that honestly I think it reminds me of like a beachy thing, that it just gives me comforting, simpler, happy vibes. It reminds me of when I was in Puerto Rico, like I said, back in my teenage or college years, back when I didn't have a mortgage, honestly. Like, this is a positive scent for me. This is a good scent profile. Not necessarily something I would wear, but something I would really like on someone else, like to smell on other people. And this is hot guy approved, honestly. I really like the scent, just not necessarily for me, but I really like other people wearing it, so I would rate it high because I think other people would smell fantastic wearing this. Like, if you're a guy and like manly scents, you should already have this in your collection. In terms of longevity and projection, this is a strong projector. I think it projects essentially about maybe 5 or 6 feet, which is great for this type of scent, that it's a versatile performer, meaning that you can use it in any situation. You can use it outside, inside, office, dating, etc. Because it'll project enough that people will smell you, but not enough that it'll choke out a room. So it hasn't taken over this room, but I can still smell it in the air, right? So that's great. That's perfect for this kind of scent. By hour 2-ish, it turns into a bubble. By hour maybe 3 or 4, it turns into like a skin scent or very, 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 very personal bubble. I don't think it ever disappears, but it doesn't really project aggressively out. It doesn't last all day as a projector. It'll last on your clothes all day if you're like you're seeking it out, but it's not something that will project all day. Honestly, in terms of this is beachy vibes, this is great vibes. I would give this in total, my general vibe of this, my general review of this is, for longevity, I would give it maybe a 9. For projection, I would give it maybe an 8. For scent, I would give it a 10. If you are a dude that likes classic scents, timeless scents, this is what you should be getting. This is so popular. This is one of the few scents that I absolutely that I would say this is absolutely a blind buy safe scent. If you're a dude that likes classic scents, this is blind buy safe. You would love this. So many guys would love this. Even some girls who prefer masculine leaning scents would love this. This is a great scent. Highly recommended. So let me know your thoughts, guys. What do you think about Hawas for him? Have you tried it? Have you enjoyed it? Is it something that you've enjoyed before? Give me your thoughts. I really like engaging with you guys. Like I said, my favorite part about making videos is talking to you. I would appreciate it if you commented. That makes my day. It makes me happy. Please like, comment, and subscribe to get more videos from me. Remember that scents are subjective. What I like isn't necessarily what you like. We might have difference of opinions on things. And always remember to smell your best. See ya.